On today's video, we're going to show you kind of some around the house budget saving trailer building tips. We're going to test out the old Harbor Freight welder and see how well it actually does. We're going to build some cross beams and finish up my wood rack. Come along. I've got a few more things attached to it. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be finishing building up the wood rack, at least on the sides and the front. Now, because this is an extremely low budget build and it's cold out here and all of the fun things like that, we're going to be doing this for as cheap as possible, which means literally things that I can find around the yard or that I just have on hand. That happens to be today some old T-posts. Now I've taken and I've cut them off to length, and I've kind of ground out a spot where I can weld on. It's gonna kind of be interesting because I haven't welded a lot really in the last couple of years. Back when I was in high school I welded quite frequently, but we'll see how it goes because I've never really done MIG or any kind of gun welding, so we'll see how it goes because this is a flat surface, that's a round pipe. I've also got to fix a few spots back on the racks that have broken off over time, and we may end up working some more on this tongue too. I also got a couple of those bolts finished. So what I've got here today is actually a pretty decent machine. I haven't welded much with it, but I did weld a little bit last night with it just to make sure that it did work. It's a Chicago Electric 125, and honestly, from the little teeny bit that I did yesterday, I'm really impressed. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to tack up these cross members, and then I'll get them welded up. I do have one side on a clamp, and then this side I'm just going to hold up and tack just because it's way more easy that way. So let's get to that. Also, this welder is super easy to set. It's literally got a maximum and a minimum amperage to set, and then you have your wire speed. So, and it is flux core, so it does do a little bit more splattering, but really honestly, it does a pretty decent job, especially for $99 on set. So, I hope that my ground is good enough because this trailer is rusty. Isn't it just my luck? Right as I get going good and I start doing stuff like this, I run out of wire. But to be fair, I never had a full spool anyways, so we're gonna have to see if the wife will be mad if I go get some more wire, because I really want to finish on this today. So honestly though, I'm pretty impressed with this little welder. This little welder has kind of blown my mind. It's done a pretty good job. But we're gonna go get some wire and we'll be right back. What do you got, Bridger? Got some welding wire. That's so cool. You show us what you have?
Oh.
What do you have? Show me. Oh, you got welding wire? That's so cool, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Uh-oh.
Oh, did you drop it? You drop it?
Oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, it's okay. We'll pick it up, all right? He wanted to go to the store with me, so I took him with me. And I'll tell you what, he's a pretty good helper so far. I'm excited for when he gets older. So, now I've got these all welded up. I haven't wire brushed them or anything yet, but I've got them welded. They don't look half bad, but they're not like perfect. I mean, this little welder does a pretty good job. So now I test fixed a couple of spots just to see how it would do back here. I've got to fix this pipe, and then I've got, I don't know, I think I'm going to put some bracing up between here. Use whatever I've got laying around to put some bracing up, and then I may try and attach another point down into the post holes down there on the middles, just because it's very, very flimsy. So if you look at it, it moves all over the place. However, the front is nice and sturdy. The front doesn't move anywhere. Those T-posts actually shored that up pretty well. I also need to find a tailgate. If anyone knows where I can get a tailgate, like for free-ish, like, not that I'm begging, but some people want an arm and a leg for these tailgates. I don't understand it. Now that I've got all of everything kind of touched up, I've got some angle iron put up on the sides, which seem to stiffen it up a lot. Now it rocks the whole trailer instead of just bending the bars, which is huge. I just had some angle iron laying around for that stuff. I put a cross brace up in the front, and then I fixed this pole right here. And I think what I'm going to do is, I've got some chicken wire just right back here that I think I'm going to put on the inside of all the bars and stuff. And I'm just going to put it up on there so that it any loose wood that I throw in there, like split wood and stuff, it ends up not falling through the cracks and stuff. All right, so I finally got, oh, excuse me, I got all the chicken wire put up all the way around. It's a nicer option than putting wood up or something like that, because then the air can pass through this while we're driving. It's not a big air dam. Now that that's done, I'm gonna fix up a couple of the welds on the tongue and get to show you a little bit of welding. It may not be great, but it's definitely better than when I first put this trailer together. So I'll show you some of that. Got that done. We touched up a few things. You kind of got to see some of my welding, and I'll admit it's not the greatest welding that I've ever done. However, it's a lot better than some of the welding I've done. Now, really honestly, it's not bad. There's some decent patterns. Obviously this was really thin, so I was trying not to burn through it, which is nice. And then I ran another bead along the top of my jack, which it's not the prettiest, but it was a push, which is also somewhat difficult. And then this plate that ties together both of these pieces, I just did all 3 sides. That again, not super perfect. However, it is better than what I had on it before. And then the seam that runs down the middle of the trailer where the 2 frame pieces connect, I had half of it on this side and then half of it on this side. I had to run a couple of beads because it was kind of a big gap, so nothing crazy there. And then my final pass was over here. I did just 2. I did 1 back and forth zigzag underneath this small one to tie the 2 pieces together, and then I just did 1 drag all the way back out. So yeah, this is not in any way a instructional welding video or how to build a trailer. This little welder did awesome today. It did a lot of things. It did all of these welds all over that, and then it fixed pieces back there. Honestly, I'm more than impressed with this welder. I was a little skeptical because it doesn't have a ton of adjustment, but for the stuff that I do, I'm not a body work person. I don't do thin sheet metal ever. So for what I do, it's perfect. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and subscribe. Share this with some of your friends. Maybe they're looking to buy a Harbor Freight welder and some Harbor Freight gear and start learning how to weld. I'll be honest with you, my total cost for today to do everything that I did was $14.99 for a roll of welding flux wire from Harbor Freight. It's really not bad stuff. The T-posts I had laying around, so scrap metal, $0. The chicken wire I had laying around, $0. Bag of zip ties to hold the chicken wire on, $10 from Ace Hardware. And then my welder, which I bought today, well, yesterday, but today. And it was on sale at Harbor Freight right now. They're having a parking lot sale, and it was $99 plus tax. So I think I paid $106 for it out the door. I'll be really honest, it was awesome. Plus, this little welder comes with a little, it's like a handheld welding hood. It's not one of the ones that goes on your head like my nice titanium one right here. It's literally just a pancake that you hold up, and it gets the job done, especially if you're just doing things around the house, whatever it may be. So thank you again for joining us. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you next time.